What do you think about the election of Rachel?
To be honest, um, I don't really care for the elections like that
Mm.
because I don't care for Kamala Harris. I don't care for Trump, so I couldn't care less.
Okay, well, but you do know there's differences between the two. The obvious ones, of course, race, gender, and then too, Kamala has been working all three branches of government, pretty much being a public servant throughout her most of her life, and she pretty much took on this whole campaign like in 107 days, which is unheard of
Crazy.
given the fact with Biden dropping out when he did, and and pretty much the Democrats was like scrambling around trying to figure out who was gonna take the reins after that. I mean, but still, I mean, with the results, I mean, as I told Rich, I'm not surprised, but at the same time, it just shows this country's true colors and what they really, how they really feel about people who aren't the majority.
Exactly.
And I'll be honest, I'm hurt, devastated, pissed, scared, all at the same time for numerous reasons. Like with the fact that me being a woman and then being a black woman in this country, um, the fact that now that when it comes to, I guess, me having like less rights now as a full grown adult compared to years ago, it it is scary because it's like, how in the world did we get from women really having control over our bodies now to the point where we regress to this? And it makes me think about so many people in my family, like my sisters, my nieces who are young adults now. Um, I got little cousins who aren't even adults yet, but are going to public schools, and it's like, how is their education impacted? And so many other people that I know who are in college now or about to try to get advanced degrees or whatever. And it's like, how is this healthcare system going to be ran now? Just so many other things that's got my mind racing and concerned. And and among other things, my older cousin posted something on Facebook like it's bad enough that they're coming for women's reproductive rights and the rights to the LGBTQIA community, and now they're going as far as to question interracial marriage. And I'm like, what?
Right.
That part.
And that bothers me because I have an uncle and aunt who are in an interracial marriage, and they've been married 37 years. And I got a cousin who's 2 years older than me who got married 3 years ago and who's in an interracial marriage, and they have two biracial children together. So I'm like, what the f at this point?
It's
Exactly. It's just been fucked up.
Yeah, and to think that we're about to endure another 4 years of this bigot.
something tells me he's not gonna last 4 years.
You know what? He does
And
have upcoming, I guess, an upcoming court date or trial supposedly on the 29th this month. So depending on, because with all them charges that's stacked against him, I mean, I'm like,
who the bigot?
Trump.
Oh, okay.
But one thing I will say is that for Reg and myself, we live in one of the swing states that got Trump um, with the most votes. Like a couple of major cities within our state. Kudos to y'all for showing up and showing out. and putting the big numbers when it came to wanting to get Harris in office so bad. My city, um, the 919, Fayetteville, Greensboro, Bull City. Y'all know who you are.
Exactly.
Yeah, cause between that and everywhere else, like with all the other major cities and the rural areas and stuff on that map, bro, I saw nothing but red. I'm like, at this point, I'm not surprised anymore what goes on in my home state, because it really just shows you the true colors of the people who do live in these communities, and the fact that it's like, as much as we wish that we wanted to switch from red to blue so bad in the South, it's like, what more can we do?
Yeah. Excuse me. Very good points.
Yeah, but I will say, shout out to the governor, the man who won for governor for the state, because I was like, I was having my fingers crossed. I'm like, I'm praying for the other guy not to be the governor, because he he pissed me off so bad. Shout out to the person who won for governor, Josh Stein. Shout out to the guy who won for public superintendent for the schools in the state of North Carolina. Kudos to him. And I know I'm leaving out someone else too, but we definitely need a serious change.
Yeah, shout out to those people. We
Yeah,
definitely need a
the
serious
yeah
change.
the people, yeah, the people
The
who
people
really
who,
want to do good for the working and middle class people, and those who live in the low poor communities as well. Kudos to y'all.
yeah, the people who want to do good for the country.
Yeah, yeah. For those who want to do good for democracy over their political party or affiliates.
That's why y'all support local elections too.
Exactly. It's not just the major ones. I mean, even though we wish it would have been the outcome we all wanted last night, but as long as we do good for our local communities as well as the states that we live in, that's a start.
Definitely.
Yeah. But then too is also us doing more besides voting, even though voting is a big part of it, but it's more about being active and supporting causes that mean the world to you, whether it be supporting um, the schools within your community or the neighborhoods you live at, um, helping out the homeless or helping those who live in the lower or poor areas of where you live at. Just something. I mean, something to do good.
Exactly.
Oh, is Try gonna come
Exactly.
on?
Nah, he didn't even watch the Boondocks like that. I say he can come on if he wants to, but he said he didn't
Oh,
watch the show like that.
oh, and yeah, of course I had to wear my hoodie for the night. So
Yeah,
Oh wait, I do have a Boondocks hat too. Hold on.
one of the classic black sitcoms of all
yeah,
time. And it still holds up to
yeah,
this very
yeah,
day.
yeah.
That and Proud Family, the OG version.
It's the Boondocks kind of reminds me a little bit of that, but it's more
Yeah,
for the adults.
yeah. The Proud Family does have a Boondocks feel to it because it's very, that show is so ghetto, but I love it.
Yeah, man, I'm ready to start whenever y'all are.
Right.
Hmm.
What's up, you two? How y'all doing today? It's your boy Reg in the building. I got my homeboy Ray Sean in the building with me. How you doing, Ray?
Doing great.
Got my homegirl Hat Ash in the building. How you doing, Ash?
What's up?
All right. So this was supposed to have been yesterday, but I ran into an unexpected emergency yesterday. That's all I'm going to say. And sorry for the last minute inconvenience, but we're here right now. And the show we are going to talk about today is The Boondocks. This show ran from November 6th, 2005 to June 23rd, 2014 on Adult Swim. It was created by Aaron Magruder, which was also based on a comic book that he made too. Character voice actors include Regina King, John Witherspoon, Gary Anthony Williams, Cedric Yarbo, Jill Talley, Bobby Solil, and Kiara Mullis, among others. But we'll talk about them. All right. So you guys know how we do. We're gonna talk about how we got into the show. I'm gonna start with you, Ash.
Okay. When the show originally aired in '05, so it ran from '05 to 2014. Okay. Back then I was in middle school at the time, and then when the I guess the hype of the show really grew by the time I got into high school. And I remember some of my classmates and I, we were watching an episode of the Boondocks in my English class one time.
In
Yeah.
elementary school.
No, I was in
Uh,
high school.
oh,
I was in
high
high
school.
school. No, I was in high school when my English class and I, we watched an episode of the Boondocks on TV because someone had the DVD box set. But
Yeah.
I was saying that when the show originally aired in '05, I was in middle school. But yeah, the episode that I saw for the first time that got me into the show was when it's a I don't know if it's a fan favorite or the one that's most memorable, but it's the one when Tom's wife had such a big infatuation with Usher and Tom grew jealous of that.
His wife
And
was a
that was
hoe.
like, wow.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, it was so funny because it was like the more I was watching that episode, it was like you had Cat Williams as a pimp named Slickback in it trying to teach Tom how to be how to be a more assertive man when it came to his wife and all that. Like that's one episode I could watch still to this day.
Same.
That's one of my favorites. So
Okay. Okay. All right. What about you, Rayshawn?
For me, uh, I watched the Boondocks when it aired on Adult Swim. Um, and I gotta say, it's one of my favorite adult cartoons of all time because I love how this cartoon is still relevant in its day and age, and how it tackles issues within the black community, and how it uses satire as a way to reflect on uh, the past events, and then any events that happening nowadays in our today's culture. And I love the characters, and I love Huey, Riley, Robert Freeman, rest in peace, John Witherspoon,
hmm
Jasmine, who is like she's like the cute, nice girl who has a bit of a crush on Huey, and Tom and his clever wife. So the characters are what made the show so enjoyable to watch. Like they're just like they're 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 just fun to watch, and I love the episodes that feature all of them in it. So the Boondocks is a favorite, is a childhood favorite of mine.
Got you. All right. I got into the Boondocks probably like late '05, 2000, or early 2006. You know what I'm saying? I remember always just when I was first watched the show, I always just like, oh, a black cartoon on Adult Swim. I mean, that's something different. You know what I'm saying? And I watched it. I just immediately just gravitated towards it. It always was like a brilliant use of satire and comedy and a little bit of drama here and there too. You know what I'm saying? But pretty much it's like the show pretty much was the brainchild of Aaron Magruder's genius and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of episodes I can watch nonstop and laugh at the same places and everything like that too. Few shows do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Um, Whenever I think of 2000s black shows, this one, Chappelle's Show, always comes to my mind and everything like that too. I always feel like the Boondocks definitely stood the test of time. And yeah, man, it's like I feel like it can never duplicated today, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, so the Boondocks pretty much took its influence from Aaron McGruder's comic strip that he wrote and everything like that too for like the Three Rivers Press and Andrews Mike Make and Kill Publishing and everything like that. The comics ran from 1996 to 2006, and it was just as controversial as the show. You know what I'm saying? Because it poked a lot of satire on a lot of the media at the time, like of course, the BT rap videos, and then video vixens, and then 9/11 and whatnot too. You know what I'm saying? So nobody was really safe and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? So it was not really until I want to say maybe early like he Aaron wanted to do this as a show and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? So he hooked up with Reginald Hudlin, which you guys should have heard that name a lot if you guys watched this channel, because he actually was it was like the main creative force behind House Party series and shit like that too. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So yeah, look at Reginald Hudlin's resume, you'll be surprised. And they originally made a pilot for Fox Network and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? But Fox didn't really find much use of it. You know what I'm saying? And Reginald Hudlin actually left the project after Fox didn't take them. So he pretty much hooked up with some pictures television, and that's when he got in contact with Mike Lazo, who was not only the president of Adult Swim, but the executive producer for mainstream shows like Aqua Teen Hunger Force and Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So he
So,
gave Aaron the full creative control to like make stories, because originally he ordered a 15 episode first season and everything like that too. So he pretty much took a lot of influence from the comic book series up until the main show. And I guess now is a good time to talk about the characters, or the plot, excuse me. So the plot of the show pretty much centers around these two boys named Huey and Riley who went to go live with their granddad in like this white suburb called Woodcrest. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Um, what happened to the parents? They never actually revealed it. You know what I'm saying? I want to say he passed away, but they never actually went deep with that. You know what I'm saying? So the characters include Huey, who was voiced by Regina King, who's like the voice of reason of the show, the moral compass and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? He's like the militant, that militant with the heart kind of. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And then
Mm-hmm.
you had Riley, also voiced by Regina King. He was the complete
Mm-hmm.
opposite of Huey. He was like the troublesome, rebellious, and everything like that too. He loved the hip hop culture, the street culture, and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but despite them arguing deep down, Huey and Riley always got each other's backs. Then you had Robert Jebediah Granddad Freeman, voiced by the late great John Witherspoon, who, in my opinion, I mean, no surprise, the funniest character on the show and stuff like that too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was a civil rights leader, former civil rights leader, and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? Who just wants to live a simple life and find a cute girl to spend his life with and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, definitely, the three would definitely make up the show. And then you also have other characters like Tom Dubois, who was voiced by Cedric Yarbo. You know what I'm saying? You guys should know who he is. All my Reno 911 fans, y'all should know who he is and stuff like that too. He also does some voice acting for shows like Black Dynamite,
Mm-hmm.
BoJack Horseman. He's like the uppity, he's like the uppity white collar middle class black man who marries a white wife named voiced by Sarah, who was named Sarah, voiced by Jill Talley, and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Who another voice acting legend. She is the voice actress of Karen from SpongeBob, and not only that, she's actually married to Tom Kenny too, the voice of SpongeBob. So
Oh
Irony.
that's
yeah, that's right. That's right. Yes, because
right.
I knew her name sounded familiar.
Hmm. Yeah, Sarah was like the more loose white woman and everything like that too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then yeah, the daughter Jasmine Dubois, who was voiced by Gabby Soleil in the first three seasons, and Kiara Palas in season four. She's like their daughter and everything like that too, who's very naive, very sweet for her age and stuff like that. She always looks up to Huey in a way too. So, and then of course you have Uncle Ruckus, voiced by Gary Anthony Williams, who Gary Anthony Williams, very 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 dope actor and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Ruckus is like the Uncle Tom of the group. He's like the main antagonist. He's does not like black people, but at the same time, he is black. He claims to be white because he felt like he has vitiligo. But as the show went on, there was one episode that they really went deep in his past and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's always good for laughs. Other characters I want to quickly mention, like you had Ed Wunsler, voiced by the late great Ed Asner. You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all should know who Ed Asner is. I mean, voice
Mm-hmm.
acting legend, dope actor. He was in everything from Roots to Mary Tyler Moore Show and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Then you have his son, Eddie Once Jr., voiced by Sam McCurry, who was like the best way to put it, he's white Riley. If Riley was white, that's who we and shit. But then you had Ed Once Third, who's like the grandson and shit like that of Ed Once Senior. You know what I'm saying? Who was voiced by the late great Charlie
Mm-hmm.
Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
Another crazy nigga and shit. You know what I'm saying? Who else? And you have Magnificent. The whole lethal injection crew that was voiced by um Magnificent, voiced by Carl Jones, and then you have Snoop Dogg and Busta Rhymes. I forgot then. Let me see her name. I forgot the name. Oh yeah, Snoop Dogg was Max Mactastic, and Busta was Phenomenal and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, then of course you have a pimp named Slickback, Cat Williams. You always gotta play a
Mm-hmm.
pimp and shit. You also have Steve Meaner, who's like Granddad's nemesis, also voiced by Cedric Yabo. Um, yeah, Reverend Rollo, Good Love, voiced by CeeLo. Hot take: I never cared for his character. To be honest with you, I never cared for the Rollo Good Love. Nothing
Yeah, I'm
against.
not gonna lie. I had mixed feelings about him too.
It's just like whenever he comes on the show, he just automatically takes over the whole episode, and you don't hear nothing about. It's like the main cast is pushing the background and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The only episode I really liked him on was the BET episode. That was the only episode. But other than that, he's kind of hit or miss for me. And then you have Gangsta
Mm-hmm.
voice by Most Def. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The rapper who was actually gay on the side, which
Yeah.
pretty groundbreaking character, at the time too, considering recent events. But yeah, I think those are all like the main characters that make consistent appearances on the show. So yeah, man, like I'm gonna pretty much start off with like the first three seasons. Like the first three seasons is what I consider like the golden period of the show, in my personal opinion and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The first season I always felt like was the more political based, the more satirical base of the whole series. You know what I'm saying? Because they tackled everything from R. Kelly. They tackled, what if Martin Luther King was alive? They tackled
Yeah.
Oprah Winfrey. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was a pretty great season of the show, and even from the gate, it attracted controversy from the gate because of the fact that it was taking on like these high profile black figures like Maya Angelou, Rosa Parks, Bill
Mm.
Cosby, and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? They were just getting a lot of flack, but at the same time too, they received a lot of accolades because the Return of the King episode was highly regarded in the show, and I think it even won them a Peabody Award. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, it won them a Peabody Award. So even though Al Sharpton was one of the main ones, and I like the fact that Martin Luther King said the N word
Mm.
and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yeah,
That
man. So we moving. Go ahead.
that was wild.
For real. Yeah, man. So
Yeah, it
this.
was.
Oh, I forgot to mention, Alicia Keys was originally supposed to play Huey and stuff like that. I forgot to mention that.
Oh.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I read it on Instagram at one point, so I was just like, oh wow, never knew this. And other people who have auditioned for the show, like RZA auditioned, Ja Rule, Brandy, they all auditioned for the show at some point. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like the first
Mm.
season was more Huey season, but the second season was more Riley season, if that makes sense. Because this is, in my opinion, the show at its funniest, in my personal opinion, because they were just hitting out all the great episodes with this one. The Catcher Freeman episode, and then you have the
Mhm.
Soul Plane episode. Your favorite, Ashley, Tom Sarah and Usher.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But there were some controversy too because there was supposed to have been an episode that was supposed to have aired at the end of season two. Well, two episodes called "The Hunger Strike" and "The Uncle Ruckus Reality Show," but those got
Mm.
banned. I mean, it was included in the DVDs as like lost episodes, but those got banned, and they were making fun of BET,
Mm.
and BET had threatened to sue if they aired those episodes and stuff like that. So, I mean, those
Oh.
episodes you can easily find on like HBO Max. I want to say on YouTube and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of interesting, but it's not the only banned
Is it
episode.
not on the is it not on the DVD box set?
It's on a DVD. Yeah, it's on a DVD.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So then they took out like a 2 year hiatus, and they came back with a third season in 2010.
Mm.
And this season alone, I mean, they were still knocking out all cylinders. I'm gonna be real with you. When I first saw the third season, I did not care for it at first because I felt like it was like a lot more looser and stuff like that. I always felt like this season was more granddad
Yeah.
season. And over the years, I came to appreciate this season. I would say it's like their third best season in my personal opinion. I mean, they started off with like it's a black president of Huey Freeman, one of my favorite episodes from the show. You know what I'm saying? Just like a documentary based on how the Woodcrest citizens was getting ready for election day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, another favorite episode of mine that I don't know if a lot of people remember this episode, but it's the story of Jimmy Rebel. And that episode also got banned because it was based on a racist country singer by the name of Johnny Rebel and stuff like that. And so Uncle Ruckus is of course a huge fan of
Mm.
him. So they had a song called "Anywhere You Figure." The president's a nigga to me, and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the main reasons why I got canceled. That episode so it's so crazy because that episode's the
Mm.
only episode that's not on HBO Max either. So that's crazy.
Mm.
And they weren't done attacking black profile figure because they also had what many people consider like their best episode, Pause, which attacks Tyler Perry. You know what I'm saying? And it was supposed to be like a Winston Jerome wants granddaddy for a play. And it was recently announced. I think that was supposed to been the first episode of the season because the production order was like 301, but they had problems. I think Tyler Perry had an issue with the episode, and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm.
but all in all, the third season was definitely a very great season. But all good things come to an end because Aaron McGruder and Carl Jones had issues with Adult Swim trying to rush Aaron McGruder to do a certain season because the third season was supposed to have been the last season of the show,
Mm.
but Adult Swim wanted him to do another season because at that time, Adult Swim, I mean, Aaron McGruder was working on that show Black Jesus at that time, and
Mm.
I've seen Black Jesus. It's okay. I mean, it's just the
Yeah,
typical Adult.
yeah, I watched it too.
Yeah, I was expecting like the Boondocks kind of style and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time,
No,
it
you
was
didn't get that.
yeah. But back to the fourth season. They did this without Aaron McGruder, and if you guys watched a lot of sitcom retrospectives, whenever a certain show goes on without whenever a certain show goes on without the main creator, 9 times out of 10 it does not always go too well. So this definitely was not a good season. Even the first episode alone, Pretty Boy Flizzy, it's a clear ripoff of Tom Sarah and Usher because it's pretty much Pretty Boy Flizzy based on Chris Brown and stuff like that too. And then you have him, taking a liking to Sarah. I'm just like, why not taking a liking on Jasmine and stuff like? Because this is clearly a clear ripoff of Tom, Sarah, and Usher. But even the fourth season itself has like a main theme where it's like Robert lost all his money, and then the Freemans are poor and stuff like that too, and Uncle Ruckus is in charge. You know what I'm saying? So, but here's the thing: it's like the thing about it is on paper, it definitely could work. It definitely could work, but at the same time, too,
Mm.
you only get a lot from this concept because the next episode is a Breaking Bad parody, right? And then
Mm.
the episode after that, Granddad becomes a prostitute for lonely women.
Mm.
And then you have more, and then it gets worse. The worst episode when Granddad buys an iPhone and Siri becomes psychotic and he has to marry the iPhone. Yo, when I first watched this episode, I'm not even gonna hold you. I immediately almost turned off the TV because it was like, yeah, the show was not what it used to be and shit like that too. Because this mind you, this was a show where you had Martin Luther King come back to life. This was a show where they easily tackled the hypocrisy of certain fans of problematic celebrities. Now you having
Mhm.
and I know this was based on a movie. I forgot what movie it was based off of, but and even the stink meter episode was just weak this season. I think the only episode I liked from the fourth season might be shit the the Freedom Ride or Die episode where Robert Freeman goes back to his days, recounts his days in the civil rights movement. Um,
Yeah.
Freedom Land was okay, but that's pretty much it. This season
Overall,
was bad. This is like Martin season 5 bad at this point,
straight
And
to
yeah,
you.
and they quietly canceled the show, which was no surprise and stuff like that.
Mm.
And they actually got some controversy after because I think it was said that John Witherspoon didn't really get a lot of his pay. I think they were trying to Adult Swim was trying to cheat a lot of the actors' pay and stuff like that too. And
Oh wow.
yeah, and they were supposed to have brought the show back. Actually, well, it wasn't. They were trying to revive the show a couple times. For one, they were trying to have a live action movie about Uncle Ruckus. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But that didn't go through because they didn't get the right funds for it.
Thank God.
Then, then they were supposed to have um a reboot of the Boondocks and stuff like that too.
Mm.
But they went through some controversies as well too. Sony didn't want to put money into it, but then also John Witherspoon, of course, passed away. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be. I think that was what really put the nail in the coffin, in my honest opinion. Because I know some people want to say, well, what if they brought somebody like George Wallace or Jennifer Lewis? I mean, yeah, but when people watch the Boondocks, they want to see Huey, Riley, and Granddad and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
and I feel like they should have. I don't know, and I feel like I don't know, it just wouldn't have worked, and it's kind of sad too because it's like the show. I feel like it ended. If it would have ended in season three, I would have been okay with that. But no, Adult Swim got greedy and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like if it's like they're not showing Seth MacFarlane shows, like they're trying to milk out some of the other shows too. You know what I'm saying? Because I think at that time too, Rick and Morty was blowing up slowly and shit, and that became like the next flagship show for Adult Swim. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So all four seasons has been released on DVD. You know what I'm saying? So this is the time of the show where we talk about our favorite episodes. Anybody want to start?
I'll start. So one of the most noteworthy episodes that I remember watching the Boondocks was the episode where um Robert Freeman he married this crazy bitch, and
Ooh,
yeah, he married this crazy bitch who has so many issues, and she told her life story about how she was abused when she was both a teenager and adult growing up. What happened?
Oh, Reg muted himself.
Oh no. Okay, so what I was saying is that he married this crazy bitch, and all of a sudden, um, she started telling her backstory about how she was abused, how she grew up, living in an abusive household with abusive men, and they keep saying, "Bitch, this shit is cold." Yeah, and so pretty much that episode took a dark turn. If you know what happened, you know what happened, but the episode took a dark turn. And another favorite of mine was the episode where was the R. Kelly episode, like which pretty much mocks and exploits R. Kelly, and Riley had a Riley had one of the most iconic lines where this guy was where this guy was um coming up to him and saying, "Oh, do you think R. Kelly's innocent or guilty?" And Riley was like, "How do I know? Like, if I see P, I run away. If she pees, she stays." And then my yeah yeah right was a hoot. And then my third favorite episode was the episode where Tom got possessed and he started acting crazy, and they were trying to exercise the demon out of him. We're saying, "What's good, my nigga?" Yeah, yeah. So those are my favorite episodes from the Boondocks.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
What about you? What about you, Ash?
Yeah, I'll agree with you when you said that seasons 1 through 3 were really like the golden staple of the show, and it really was. I mean, with the exception of season 4, the pretty boy Flizzy, that was I think the only episode I was able to really get through without me wanting either to change the channel on my TV or cut my TV off, because everything else, it was just like it was just all over the place, and without Aaron McGruber there, I guess, to kind of, I guess, steady the course of the show. I mean, without his input or ideas and what have you, I felt like season 4 of the Boondocks was really the demise of it. Was it was really
Right.
what made it not as good as it was in the earlier years. And we've seen this happen. We've seen this stuff happen dozens of times with other shows, like 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 um like a lot of groundbreaking black shows, like from around the 2000s or even in the 90s. I mean, and before then, like in New York Undercover. I mean, it was a great groundbreaking show with two men, one of them black and the other one Latino, being cops in New York and all that stuff. And you had a groundbreaking series that ran for 4 years, and you had great music behind the show to back that up. But then when their fourth season was approaching, no, scratch that, towards the end of season 3 going into season 4, when they made all the when the creator of the show made all those changes, I felt that it really broke the hearts of so many viewers who tuned in week after week, especially killing off one of the main characters. And then you changed the whole cast like entirely going into the fourth season. And then I did not like I didn't like the intro music for that and all that other stuff that went on. If they would have stuck with the original formula back then for that show, then they probably would have kept it going more and more, like for multiple seasons. I feel like it was kind of pretty much like the same thing with the Boondocks. Like if you would have stuck with like, I guess, the originality, that what made the show great, and still had Aaron on the show to, I guess, kind of spearhead the whole thing. I feel that the Boondocks probably could have went on a little bit longer, or the fourth season would have overall been better. Cause one episode I did not like on that season. What was it? The one when they had like some sort of excuse me, like some sort of amusement part where all the black people were um to be portrayed as slaves and whatnot. Y'all remember that?
You said for the fourth season, the slaves,
Yeah. What episode was that where they had all the black people portraying as slaves, like for an amusement park or something?
Freedom Land.
Freedom
Yeah,
Land.
I
Oh,
did not like Freedom Land. That was one of the ones that I was most disgusted by, because I'm like,
that was
who
disheartening.
put the stamp of approval for that? The script. I mean, why would you want? Because it seemed like every time when you trying to tell black stories. I mean, I know slavery was the messed up part of our history as a race, but it's like only so many times like you want to hear about that on shows, movies, documentaries, or miniseries, what have you. And it's like, really, like y'all really thought this was a good idea for us to play this, and it wasn't even all that funny to me. It was just,
Offensive.
yeah, that's all it really was. It was just offensive, and I don't know what.
All right.
I didn't see no
Right.
humor in that episode whatsoever.
Yeah, man. At least with Catcher Freeman, you know
Yeah,
what I'm
that one
saying?
was a little bit funny. I'll admit it was slightly funny, but
Right. It was
But Freedom Land, I did not like.
me neither. It was just okay for me. Um, One of my favorite episodes, and this is an episode that's always like a top tier for me, was season two, the Shining episode, when Riley got a chain from a lethal injection crew, but it turns out that he got chain snatched from this white bully.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he ends up fucking up, but then it turns out that the chain was fake and stuff
Mm,
like that too. And I feel like it was a subtle reminder how it was telling motherfuckers don't always believe your rappers are wearing some real authentic shit. Well, your real authentic shit, you know what I'm saying? Because 9 times out of 10, they don't know if it's fake or not. 9 times out of 10, And
Unless you get praised.
right, and also too, another favorite episode of mine. I gotta take it to the first season. It's the episode called "The Story of Delicious." You know what I'm saying? Which pretty much
Oh.
Riley's favorite rapper, Gangsta Licious. This was voiced by Mos Def and
Mm-hmm.
everything like that. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much Mos Def kept getting shot, and he got shot this time from what appears to be like a rival gang member or some shit like that. But
Mm-hmm.
it turns out that he was like an X level scorned or some shit. And what was
Yeah.
funny as hell was when they tried to shoot him and then they missed after all them fucking shots and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that was another hilarious episode and shit. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh
um,
yeah.
okay,
I was gonna say besides the Usher episode being my favorite, I liked there were a couple of other ones I liked. I liked when the episode where Tom got possessed by the soul of Stink Meaner.
Yes.
clap.
Yes, I like that
You just
one,
got
and
kicked in your chest.
yeah, I like that one. I like the one when the the members of Stink Meaner's old crew pretty much showed up to pretty much at the Freeman family, like with all the action sequences, the fighting and all that.
Right.
That was funny. And what's that one episode, the one I think where Gangsta Licious had that one song, homies over hoes.
That was Gangstalicious 2.
Yeah, that. For some reason, every now and again, that song would I guess come to mind sometimes and be like, really.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, how about that one episode where everyone goes crazy that there was no more fried chicken? I think what was that?
You
Yeah,
mean when they had that soul food restaurant?
yeah. I think that was there was where they were going ballistic over fried chicken.
Oh, the Kentucky Fried Chicken flu.
Yeah, that
Oh
one.
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Yeah,
hilarious.
remember the one that they had them crazy food concoctions and to the point where it made a whole lot of people fat.
Yep. I swear. Excuse me. That whole show was a trip. Excuse me.
Right.
That whole show was
Yeah,
a trip.
yeah. But oh, there's another one that's a favorite of mine. The one where Riley kept spray painting like tagging buildings and stuff. And he had that art teacher who was teaching him how to to
Yep.
do art, and then towards the end of the episode he was like trying to leading the cops in a car chase and all that.
That was, and then they played that song from
The
Jefferson
song
Airplane.
that was sampled by Pete Rock, they reminisce over you. Yeah, because for a long time I always wondered what was that sample, because and then when I heard it in the episode, I immediately went on YouTube to look for that song.
I feel like originally they wanted to use "Run to Reminisce Over You," but somehow, some way, they felt like the original sample would have been more cinematic.
Yeah, more sentimental.
Right.
And in a way it kind of is.
It is definitely.
Yeah, especially because with the end of the portrait of Robert and his deceased wife. Because
I
we
thought
all
that
know
was
what.
their parents.
No, no. I thought it was a young Robert and his wife, his deceased wife.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Yeah, because I think at one point he named his car after her.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And that's another thing too. The fact that the Boondocks ended the way it did after season 4 is kind of like, I kind of wish they would have delved more into Robert and Riley's parents, like who they were, or what the heck happened, like,
Yeah, 'cause they
because
never
I've
explored.
always wondered about that for a long time, even after the show ended.
Yeah, man. Because I feel like I heard of some original concepts in season in some of the seasons was like Huey was going to fall in love at one point. I don't know if that's 100% true, but it was
That
supposed
I
to.
possibly could see him, I guess, falling for a female who had the same ideals as him in a way. I don't know.
Right,
And then too, Huey, of course, with the militant mentality, I felt like he was more of a follower of Malcolm X when it comes to the black leaders of during the civil rights movement or the black movement altogether. You know.
right. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, TT. That was the first time I heard MF Doom too, but I didn't even know that was MF Doom when I heard it and shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing too. They got a lot of people. They play like a lot of dope underground hip hop on that show, like MF Doom,
Yes.
and like, and if it wasn't for them playing MF Doom and the Boondocks, they wouldn't have used a lot of like Jay Dilla and Nujabi's
Hmm.
beats into Adult Swim transitional music. The adult, I don't see. I don't even watch Adult Swim like that. In recent years, does Adult Swim still do that whole black screen with the white letters and then the hip
I
hop be they
now
play?
now I'm not too sure because I mean ever since my mom got rid of and I got rid of the cable years ago. I mean, it's hard to say now. And then too, I don't know a whole lot of people who still have cable nowadays. I mean,
Yeah. Q
oh,
said they also have.
I know one thing I was mentioning. Did the Boondock did they ever release like a soundtrack for the show?
Yeah, Q just said it on the chat. They got a hip hop soundtrack.
Oh, cool, cool.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and the theme song. We didn't even talk about the theme
Oh
song.
yeah,
Legendary, legendary.
Legend.
legendary.
Yeah, that was done by
I like
this
that. I
cat.
like the intro and the outro.
Yes, the outro. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah,
Yeah, that theme song was done by Asheru and shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So the producers in the last seasons was this Asian named Seong Yoon Kim. That's what I'm looking at. That's
Oh,
interesting.
mm.
And I'm here, and whoever's playing that R. Kelly episode in the background is funny.
I
Oh
am.
Lord. And that's what makes made the show great.
Yeah,
It delved into a bunch of relevant stuff that went on in the black community, whether it was through entertainment or politics or just the social norms or the ways that we interact with people or people who are different from us, you know.
Right.
That's what made it so great, and we don't have
right.
a whole lot of that anymore, especially in animation.
Yeah, that's why I love the OG Proud Family. That one episode where they tackled the black heritage and Kwanzaa religion.
Yeah, yeah, the
Those my
celebration
those my
of
favorite
Kwanzaa.
episodes. Yeah, where
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Penny she dreamt about her friends being in segregation. She
yeah,
tried to
back in 1955. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and she tried to befriend Zoe, but this white girl said, "Zoe,
Ye-
if this color girl give you trouble."
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, it just goes to show that even though stuff like that happened in the past, it's still ongoing. I mean, racism isn't gone. I mean,
right,
and it never will be because there's so many people who just feel that we're inferior to them, or they just feel threatened or jealous or some sort of envy about how unique we are because we we exude excellence in a way that they never could or even thought of.
Facts. Yeah, man,
Yeah,
that
Yeah,
authenticity in black cartoon.
and
The
that's
only
yeah, and it makes me wish that we had more adult animated black cartoons that were at least somewhat similar or took a page out of what the Boondocks did.
right, yeah, man. GT said the music in the first season had a lot more piano. That's the thing too. I love the piano playing in that the score.
Yes, yes.
Like it just captured that underground hip hop at that time, like Common and Jobbies and
hmm
everything like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I feel like the second season they kind of like had more of a hip hop bass theme or score and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Which
Yes.
it was still cool too. It was still cool, but the piano playing in the first season was just one of a kind and shit. I'm gonna answer a few more people. 'Cause I gotta get the rest for work. Mike Epps on season one. Yeah, that Wingman episode was hilarious and shit. I was thinking we should probably do like a top worst last seasons in black sitcoms and shit. Like there's been some bad last seasons in a lot of black sitcoms. Like
Mhm.
Martin. Um,
how you feel about Sitter later seasons?
see, I love their later seasons.
Yeah,
I
when
actually love the seasons from the early seasons.
Teen Tamir got older.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, that's to be expected because I mean,
Yeah,
what y'all expecting to be teenage girls forever?
nah,
nah, I don't like Moesha's last season.
that's one thing I
Oh
dislike
my
about.
god, yeah, yeah, they did Moesha the show all the way wrong. The way when they made Frank to be like the worst father in the world, and even the series finale, I did not like
Oh my god.
that.
Yeah, and
I mean,
that's
don't
one.
get me wrong. There were a lot of black shows that had series finales that make you question, like, this is really how they wanted to end the show.
TT said Keenan and Kel. Oh, that's an interesting.
Mm,
I won't really call that weak, but it was kind of. They did kind of overdo Kel's stupidity after a while.
yeah, I was about to say they did, because I mean, y'all could have done a whole lot better with him.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I do enjoy Keenan and Kel.
Yeah, I love that show.
Oh
I
yeah, that
loved
show's a childhood favorite. Um, and that's why I never bothered watching the remake of Proud Family. Is because why would you still make them 14, even though in the movie, in a Proud Family movie, Penny turns 16,
I
and
hate
then
when reboot.
yeah, in the reboot, she looks 16. She looks 16.
Penny.
Yeah, Penny, the main character, like in the
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
reboot of Proud Family, why still keep them 14? Like even though they look
yeah.
grown,
Like,
like
don't
they look more
like y'all
grown.
should have just like aged her up. I mean,
Yeah, she was 16 in the movie. Her and her
yeah.
friends, they were 16,
Mm-hmm.
and that reboot tried so hard to be edgy, and uh, and I get that some, like I get that they want to tackle more mature themes regarding racism, like they did in the OG, but they tackle racism, and the
Mm-hmm.
reboot they tackle Juneteenth. slavery, which which now that became a meme on Twitter and everywhere with the slave but this country meme.
Mm.
Um, the episode where Zoe got ostracized because a black guy asked her out, which I'll be real with you. I never really cared for Maya in that reboot. I just feel like Maya was
Kiki
just there to
Palmer's
cause.
character.
Yeah, Maya. I just feel like she just there to cause trouble. Even though we already have characters like La Cienega and Dejanay, who are already trouble to begin with.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah, her hit or miss for me too.
yeah, like why would you say that? Oh, you heard from your cousin, even though we don't even see your cousin, and she forgets that she has two parents, two dads who are interracial. Make that make
Yeah.
that make sense. And I'm like, why are y'all still friends with each other? That's the thing. Like Penny and Zoe, like they're not perfect, but they need better friends. That's been said since Dawn of Man when the show first aired, the OG. Like, because La Cienega, Dejanay, Meyer, they're not good for you.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, because because of course, Christina Good, she's two faced. Like, she appears to be nice and sweet in front of the grown ups, but then when they're not around, she just turns into this mean girl.
she was a bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah, she. I mean, I'll give La Cienega this. As much of a bitch she is, at least she's an honest one. Because Dejanay, she just fake
yeah,
as hell.
yeah, yeah. Because yeah,
But La Cienega, she knows like she's like what you see is what you get. Like if she don't
yeah, pretty much.
if she don't want to be friends with you, then don't be friends with her. And I give Trudy and Oscar a side a, a side eye is because y'all know Los Angeles is fake, and Penny tried to tell you this all the time, but you don't listen to her.
Yeah, it's like y'all just
Yeah,
dismiss what she's saying.
yeah, that's why like I give I do give like Trudy side eyes, especially in that episode that I will never mention because that that's that one episode I hate so deeply, but but again,
Which
you know from the reboot that where everyone on in the mama went viral with.
which one? I'm kind of lost.
It's the episode you know the episode where shoot where Penny Penny it's like for curfew and
Oh,
yeah, that episode it's like what happened what did the writers do with Shooty and I'm like Shooty would never do nothing like that. I mean Trudy does have issues with Penny when it comes to like because again Penny is a teenager. She's gonna do like rebellious things, but Trudy but Trudy is an adult. Like she should sat down with Penny, just set her like set ground lessons on not coming home late and that right there
Yeah,
that right there deserves to be hated because a lot of the people on Twitter did not like how Trudy handled that how the way Trudy handled that situation because again she's an adult, Penny's a minor, she's 16, still a child, and who knows all the horrors like all the horrors that she'll experience. Has she never went to Sugar Mama's house in the dead of night, mind you? Like that episode right there just screams that because in the U.S. Judy would have been locked up. Yeah,
True.
yeah, because that episode was very scary. Was very scary for anybody who were a teenager gets locked up by their own parents in the dead of night with no key, none of that, and yeah, that episode deserves to be trashed. Yeah,
Mm.
because
Well,
that's not how I saw Trudy.
I feel you. Well, I'm just gonna end this off right here. I gotta get some
Yeah.
rest for work tonight. But this has been a very fun second retrospective. If you guys want to watch the show, all the seasons have been released on DVD. You can also catch it on HBO Max or even when the show's on Adult Swim occasionally and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. But stick to the first three seasons if you want the
Yeah.
quality shit.
Yeah,
Other than
the
that,
best seasons.
right. Other than that, hope you all have a good night. Appreciate this, Ashley. Appreciate this with Sean as usual. I'll see y'all later. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.